Are we on, yeah? Takes me a second to get myself together, don't worry. I'm going to do a whole bunch of during this interview.
No, it's fine. You can always cut as well, like if I took up, like...
They don't let me cut ever. Alright guys, it's the Cybernerds. We're back here still at EGX 2016 in Birmingham. And I'm here with lead developer Alex Rose of
Super Rude Bear Resurrection.
Super Rude Bear Resurrection. Now, he's also a master at this game, and he says that he can do this interview while playing the whole game. So, I've seen him play, and he's pretty good. But we're gonna jump straight into this, Alex Rose. Alright, first of all, just tell us about your game.
So Super Rude Bear Resurrection's like a ridiculously hardcore platformer. If you play like Meat Boy, it's a lot like that. Except every time you die, your body stays behind. So if you watch here, if I die, my corpse stays, and now I can jump on it and use it to get ahead. So every death makes the game slightly easier, but the ultimate aim is to beat the entire game without dying. But it's also like a very grime-based game, and that's not something I talk so much about in America, where they don't get it as much. But like we've got like graffiti art in it. Like Rude Bear himself is like he's from East London. He's like a gangster, and then you've got like all the bosses are grime references. We got a grime soundtrack by Deco. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on in Rude Bear. Yeah.
All right, I'm going straight off the cuff now. So how did you get into this grime culture? Like why does that appeal to you?
Okay, so actually, when I was a kid, I was like a metalhead in school, and then when I came, you can tell by the black jeans, you never lose them, right? But the thing was like, when I got into uni, I kind of was like, I need to change the scenery. Like, I just wanna kind of change who I am. So I like started hanging out with different people instead of like people on physics. And my housemate was like big into like his hip hop and his grime, and he like really got me into it. But then like that was like 2010, and then over the past like 6 years, like grime is like all I listen to, like pretty much a bit of hip hop as well. But like I'm like addicted to it. Like.
Alright, cool. Me as well. Alright, another question off the cuff. Alright, who's your favorite grime artist right now?
I mean, everyone's big on Stormzy right now, right? Like,
Stormzy's big. Stormzy's very big.
Yeah. I do. I like President T though. Like, I'm big into my President T.
Alright, cool. I'll go with Chipmunk right now. I think Chipmunk's tearing up the game.
Doing like, I enjoyed the beef, but like, I shouldn't talk about that, should I? Like, I don't want to rile anyone up. Like,
it might turn into a grime, to an interview just about grime. Alright, next question. What influenced you to do a game like this? It's very different. Like what was the main influences?
So, like, in terms of what I do is I do game jams. So every few months I make a game from scratch in like 72 hours. And they give you like a theme that you have to make the game based around. So normally I just look at the theme and just make something based off that. But I was big into like 90s games. So like Sonic 3 was like a big thing that I really loved. And this is, to me, that was like a big... I was listening to the Sonic 3 soundtrack when I made the original version of this. But yeah, also like I played a lot of Meat Boy, so I can't act like Meat Boy didn't have a big influence, because it probably did. But like I was never trying to make the next Meat Boy, but people do like compare it to that all the time.
It's cool. So what makes this game different from other platformers like Meat Boy?
Okay, so for one, like the thing that I think is most important about the game is that it's super, like the controls are like really like tight and responsive. There's a bunch of bosses. We're about to see German Whip here, which I know a grime reference that. So yeah, there's like a lot going on. It's full physics based, so you can bump into stuff. If you see I'm jumping on this guy's like balls, but like yeah, you can. you can so you can like interact with stuff like that. You can push your own bodies around, but on top of that, the one of the big things is that even like little kids can play this, even like old people who've never really played games, because the co-op system makes it so. I mean, when you were playing, you were playing on a bit of a rubbish laptop I was bringing, so like the frame rate was bad, but like you could just die over and over again and just walk over your bodies. So I've seen a lot of people play Meat Boy, and they're wearing the Meat Boy shirt and they love Meat Boy, but they just couldn't finish it because like it just got so hard. But like that can never happen with this, because the corpses mean that like anyone can beat this. So it never like, you get like a gold bear if you beat the game in like few lives, but it never gives you a bronze for not doing that. Like like this is just an additional bonus, but like it wants to encourage everyone to be able to play this game, and it's trying to include everyone.
No, definitely, because me personally, platformers well, old school platformers like this, like Guacamelee, like Meat Boy, aren't my favorite type of game. I'm not very good at them, but I learned very quickly playing this, like, it's still really fun, even though I died like a million times trying to get from the first platform to the second one. Yeah. So I really appreciate that about the game. All right, so next question. What made you get into the industry?
So I mean, I was doing a physics degree, and it was a bit like, I wasn't feeling it. Like, I would have ended up like working in an underground tunnel somewhere with 90% dudes, like just not really like just firing particles at each other. And it got to a point where like I got so far into physics that it was hard for me to justify what the point of it is. Like smashing particles into each other, it's cool, but like I can't actually tell you why it's worth doing, but it's still billions is put into it. But either way, I've always been into games. I've always loved games. Since I was a little kid, I've been making games. So this has always been like in the back of my mind, but I just thought it wasn't possible. I thought I was born too late for it, and my parents kind of like pushed me away from it. But then at uni, I started making games when I learned to code. So then it was just like, after I started doing that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it happen. And then since I've started doing it, I've got such a positive response. I've won a couple of awards. Like I won 30 under 30 this year from Develop. People like it. There's so many people you meet. It's much more interesting. Like I have a nice active social life, and I get to go around the world and like visit places, and I get to make what I want to make and stuff like that. So to me, there's like no other. I wouldn't want to do any other job at this point. This is like, it's just my dream. So
no, that's amazing. You told us a little story a little bit earlier about how you made your first ever game.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us that? I feel like it was a cool story, and I want our viewers to know about it.
Yeah. So when I was like a little kid, like I think my dad wasn't around when I was a kid, but like I think he taught my brother how to use a computer, and then my mum came home with like a disc of like a thing called the Games Factory, and you put it in, and it kind of teaches like you can like make little games. You draw your own artwork, you make your own backgrounds, you put your characters down, and then you can say if this bumps into this, then next level or whatever. So if you walk into the door, next level. And it's already simple, but like it kind of teaches you how to do it. And for the first 18 years of my life, I made all these like really bad, not very good at all games. I made a game called Pikachu. It's just about a Pikachu. It's just a platformer. Like it was really bad, but like I liked it, right? But then when I learned to program in uni, I suddenly realized that I was quite good at it, and I could make proper things that I've always wanted to make. So I made a quick Android game, and then from there I started making the Root Bear series, and then this one won a big competition. Like 2,000 people, and then from there, like I just thought, okay, I better roll with this then. Like I can make this work. So.
If you make a game that beats 2,000 other people's, you better roll with it. Yeah, that's probably some good advice for anyone out there.
For 4 months I wasn't gonna, but then like all the people in I got to know my local game dev scene in Manchester, and everyone was like, "You're mental if you don't make this work." So I was just like, I guess I have to like do this now.
No, that's great, and we're happy you did it. All right, now we've got a real tough question. What is your greatest game of all time?
It's strange, even though I do platformers. I love The Legend of Zelda, right? I love Majora's Mask. I'm into my RPGs and stuff like that. I could list off loads of RPGs I love. I think that game's like really awesome. On top of that, like my next game is going to be another Ruber game. It's probably going to be like a Zelda-like game, because I feel like Nintendo have been. They're doing their own thing now with that series, but it's not quite what I want from it. Yeah. So I think like I'll just make what I want from it, and that's like my next idea. Yeah.
That's great. It sounds really inspirational. All right, now last question, nice and easy one. When is the game released? Like when can we get our hands on this, and what platforms, or when's it coming?
Cool. So because we're funded by Sony, it's coming first to PlayStation, but it's also coming to Steam at the same time. And then later we're looking at Xbox. So what we're looking at right now, and I don't want to like, I hate when developers announce stuff and then de-announce it. So what I was going to do, I'm going to put out like an official release date when I know it's done and it's all through. Because I don't want to like push myself into a date where like I'm like, oh, I'm stuck in this date and my game isn't fully done, I'll just fix the bugs after the game comes out. I don't like that day one patch stuff. Like, I like the game to be done and done. Like, so I'm going to announce an official release date later, but we're looking at January. Like, that's what I want it. That's what I want to get it done for.
Alex, it was great talking to you. Thanks for having us. Anything you want to just talk about, plug? Where can people find you?
So I'm Alex Rose Games on Twitter, and you can find Super Uber Resurrection on Facebook. I should update it more. I'm going to update it more at launch. Right now, I'm just like, I don't just want to be like, here's another event we did, here's another event we did. But like at launch, I'm going to gear up and start doing like loads of new videos and stuff like that, show all the new content off. So yeah, like I'm wanting to, like. Yeah. So I'm mainly a Twitter guy. Like Alex Rose Games is like the best way to find me.
Alright guys, at Alex Rose Games, and you can find us at the Cybernerds on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Stay locked in for more and more videos at EGX Birmingham 2016, guys. See you later.
Completely live action psychological horror set in an underground nuclear bunker, and it's a story about a character called John who's all alone in a nuclear bunker 30 years after the bomb was dropped and wiped out England.
Oh, that is pretty intense. Yeah.